Will Robinson here from Robinson's Auto, toolsandtime.com. Welcome back, guys. I got this 2000 Plymouth Neon here I'm getting ready to take for a test drive. Just got it in. They say they hear a noise in the back, sounds like a brake issue. Let's take it for a ride and see what we can find. See if we can hear it. Look at that, a garage for rent. Hey, you could be my neighbor. Let's take this. You hear it back there? I hate to tell them, I don't think it's a brake issue. After a while, your ears get trained. I have a feeling a wheel bearing. See how it changes when I turn? That went away when I went around that turn. I can actually feel the wheel moving. I think they pushed this one a little too far. Alright, let's take it in the garage and see what we can find. That explains the noise. Wow. Yeah, you don't want to push them that far. So, let's get in there and see what we got. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, let's start by removing the wheel. These Neons and a lot of other makes and models use a bearing pack, so it's a complete hub assembly we'll be replacing today. If you have trouble getting a rotor or a drum to break loose, simply just hit it a couple times. It should usually come loose. In some cases, you got to actually take some slack out of the brakes. However, in this case, they actually look pretty good. Okay. I picked up a set of brake shoes thinking that it probably destroyed them as well. However, they don't look bad. We'll be able to see more once we clean it up. That baby's shot. Got a pretty cool little tick to it though. Almost like when you put a baseball card on the spoke of your tire when you were a kid on a bicycle. Alright, time to get to work. We're just going to spray everything down. Try to have a cleaner surface to work on. I'll do this one more time after I put it together. Yeah, these brake shoes are in good shape. I'll let that evaporate for a couple minutes. Okay, I just wanted to spray that down. That way I can inspect the shoes to make sure they weren't damaged from the wheel bearing being bad and the drum being cocked. However, they don't look too bad at all. So, I think they got lucky. Alright, let's proceed on removing that dust cap. Once you get it started, then you get it behind it. Start working it around. That way you don't damage it. Because you're going to have to reuse this. I get a bigger screwdriver. Just put it in there and like turn it. Sometimes if you beat them off, you get them out of round, and then there's a chance it might come out on you. Okay. Now we're going to take one and remove that nut. Okay, I have my doubts about this little electric impact getting it, but we'll give it a whirl. Wow, I'm shocked. This little thing's been a blessing to me, man. I love it. Plus it's a lot quieter than that compressor running in the background. Okay, once that's removed, you can simply remove your hub assembly. As you can see she's shot. Alright. Take and clean that up. Okay, I took and cleaned this off. Now we've taken, installed the new hub assembly. The new hub assembly comes as one unit. As you can see, the seal's in it already, so there's no way to grease the bearings. You can see they're not 100% sealed bearings. You can see they come pre-greased. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain on the last wheel bearing job I did. Some bearings come with a seal on them already, where it's really impossible to grease them unless you remove that seal. But if that seal's there, that means it's already greased. And hopefully they did a good job from the factory greasing it. Otherwise it's not going to last too long. But however, they guarantee it. I think this one has 3 years. Okay, let's install the new hub assembly. Just side on fairly easy. Like so. On the back side of this nut, I got this buildup. I'm going to take and clean that off. That way I have a nice true compression surface, because this is what compresses and sets your preload on those bearings. And this is going to have to be torqued to 160 foot-pounds. So I want a nice surface to be doing that with. So I'm going to go hit that on the wire wheel. Okay, I got the nut. It's all cleaned up. Let me show you something here. This is what they call a nylon block nut. As you can see, it has that insert. So once it hits that nylon piece, it binds up and it acts like a lock nut, so it doesn't just come loose. They have a different style of lock nut. It's called a top lock nut. They kind of look like they're crimped over a little bit. So once you get down to that point, it starts binding and it acts like a lock nut. So you should feel, once you get down to that nylon insert, you shouldn't be able to turn it too easy. See how now I can barely turn it by hand. So that's telling me that nylon piece is in good shape. If you were able to spin it right in, then it's not doing its job. You want to run this in with a ratchet. Can you get it snug? That feels good. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to do is torque it. This gets torqued to 160 foot-pounds according to the manual. So I got my snap-on torque wrench here. This is what they call a click-style torque wrench. It could be, it doesn't have to be a snap-on, it could be any make. However, you want something that's pretty accurate. I get this one calibrated at least once a year. They'll just take it for a little bit, test it, make sure it's good, because I use this on a lot of head jobs and motor jobs. So got it set to 160. So let's torque it down. This is what they call a click style torque wrench. So once I hit 160 foot-pounds, you'll hear my torque wrench click. Then I know I hit my mark. Right there's 160 foot-pounds. That's all she wrote. Feels good. Preload feels perfect. Okay, you know, want to take and reinstall the nut cover. This keeps the dirt and dust and everything out of the bearing. Keeps the grease in. I'm going to start it straight. This is why you don't want to bend that all up taking it out, and you got to reuse it. Okay, perfect. Alright, I'm going to clean that drum up, and then we'll reinstall that. Okay, I got the drum back, I cleaned it up. I had a little bit of a rust buildup, so I just hit it with a wire wheel, front and back. These drums aren't in too bad a shape. There's some heat marks on them. Very little wear, I just measured them. Everything's within specs, the pads are wearing nice. I just looked in the service report for this vehicle, and last year when it was inspected, it had new rear brakes and wheel cylinders and drums installed, so that explains why they're in such good shape. Alright, so let's put her back together. I like taking and putting a little never sees right around that perimeter. See, a lot of my customers are loyal, so they've been coming to me for years. So most likely I'll be the next one to take this apart, so this all helps in that. Next time I do it. Just gotta get over that little lip. Should be good. Okay, what I did, I went inside and I applied the emergency brake, then I released it, and that should have centered the pads for me because they probably got misaligned from that wearing. And as you can see, I can move it nice now. The pads are just touching, so I'm not even going to adjust the brakes. We'll apply a little never sees to new studs. Now, I don't want to make this job any more complicated than what it is. It's actually a pretty straightforward job. But it may seem like it takes me a little bit of time, but like I mentioned, I'm doing this stuff in slow-mo for you. It's actually a Sunday. Doing this one as an emergency service type deal. Don't need to be driving kids around with the wheel bearing that bad. Like I mentioned before, inspect the back side of the tire. This one looks good. Reinstall your tire. As you've seen, I went in a cross pattern. And when I lower it, I'll torque it. Okay, feels good. You're just hearing the brake shoes touching the drum. No more play. That feels beautiful. Alright guys, I think we got it. Slow her down and torque the lug nuts. Okay, when torquing the lug nuts on this one, they want you to do it in 2 steps. They want you to go 50 foot-pounds first to make sure you got them run down, and then 100. You're simply just taking, run this down to 50, which I'm sure I'm probably already there. I got the emergency brake applied and the car is lowered. Take and run this down to 50. And jack it up to 100. We'll do a nice cross pattern. Go over them one more time. Now that I torqued them in a nice cross pattern, I'm just going to go around in a circle, make sure I got them all. Okay, good to go. Let's get some reinstalled the hubcap. Okay, that's all she wrote. Okay guys, that's all there is to it. Pretty straightforward job. I didn't want to make it any more complicated than what it was. Just make sure everything's good, clean, inspect it. If there's any other components that are worn, replace them while you're there. Get everything torqued, that way you're reassured everything's done properly. And I'm sure she'll feel much safer with the kids in the car now. Okay guys, I'm Will Robinson from Robinson's Auto, toolsandtime.com. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.